we are going to replace the starter in this 05 3.3 Chrysler Town and Country minivan. The 9904 is the same job, but the wire connection on the starter is a little different. First, disconnect the battery, preferably the negative terminal. You are much less likely to short out the battery that way. It's a 10mm nut. Loosen it, give it a good wiggle, it should come right off. Move it out of the way so it won't reconnect. Jack up the car. Use a jack stand to hold it up. Set the emergency brake. Do the car safety test. Push the car, see if it moves. Jack up the driver's side or both sides if you want more room. But keep in mind the car is more stable most of the time if it's only jacked up on one side. The starter, as you can see, sits right in front of the oil filter. And it's nice that nothing else needs to move out of the way in order to get the starter unbolted or out. Start by removing the nut for the positive connection. Here's where, remember, you disconnected the battery. You disconnected it. Remove the connector and get it out of the way. Next, remove the electrical plug. Just be gentle and it should slip out pretty easy. Use a pick or a screwdriver to push the little stopper inside the connector while pulling it out of the connector plug. Now there are two bolts attaching this starter to the engine, one on the bottom and one on top, almost the two opposites. It does seem like there's a third bolt on the side, but there is none. They're both 15mm. The top one is where these wires go to. You can't really see the nut that holds them, but that's where the bolt is. Just a short tip, when you remove a bolt or nut, be on it all the way and push the wrench directly 90 degrees to it. No wobble like this one, with the socket being crooked, where you can easily break the bolt. The bottom bolt is pretty easy. It's right there. You can use a short socket on a 3/8 inch ratchet. It shouldn't be too tight. The upper bolt is a bolt with a stud and nut on it. You first remove the nut that holds the ground wire. It's a 13mm. It shouldn't be too tight, but I would put a little lubricant in case the stud has some rust on it and would prefer to snap. I use PB Blaster, it has never failed me. Remove the ground wire. To remove the rest of the bolt, you'll need a long 15mm socket. I used a 1/2 inch socket with a 3/8 adapter with a flex head wrench. On the 9904 models, here you should use a standard 3/8 extension. That's a 1.5 inches in addition to your socket and adapter. Again, be very careful to be directly to the bolt. Remove the bolt. Remove the starter from the bottom. It'll slide right out, a shim will come out with it. You will need to put it back in with the new starter. Install the starter by putting it in the same way it came out. Slide in the shim and put in the lower bolt. Close it almost all the way. Make sure the bolt goes in straight. Always start the bolt by hand. Put in the top bolt, the ground wire, and the nut. Connect the electrical connections on the bottom. Tighten any bolts that need to be tightened and reconnect the battery. Start it up. I am Dr. Carr. Please, if you would have what to add, write it in the comments. Subscribe if you would like to see more videos and great tip videos. Thank you for watching.